Hello guys, good evening. This is FTS once again. I am not a financial advisor, neither do I give financial advice. This video is for education purpose only. And as you know, past profit do not grant the future result. The forex market is volatile as we trade at price management. All right, the current trend that is happening right now, as we all know, we are uh, in time where there is a austerity in the world due to United tariffs, right? Reciprocal tariffs on various countries, G8, the G8, and some other countries around the world. Then we're also in a period of geopolitical crisis in terms of war between Israel and Iran. Okay, and I posted yesterday on the group that United States struck three nuclear sites of Iran, right? And the world is waiting for Iran's retaliation. And if Iran retaliates, that means based on what they promise, if they retaliate, that means it has become you know some other nations might involve. And also from what I saw online, Yemen has threatened the United States to take their ships off their coastal waters. That they've joined the fight against US and Israel. Okay, so the war against the war between Israel and Iran has intensified. Both sides are collecting, they are damaging themselves seriously, right? So we are afraid of escalation of the war. So before this weekend, Trump said he will likely not. He is giving Iran 2 weeks, right, before he make decision. All of a sudden, yesterday, this morning, we saw that they struck Iran, right? Yeah, they struck Iran and nuclear sites. And so that US strikes Iran nuclear sites, risking wider Middle East war, Mid East war, right? So it seems that some other Middle East countries, like in the Islamic nations around in the Middle East, will likely get involved in this war, right? And as US has already take side with Israel, right? And as you know, the reason they are doing this was because of they are afraid that uh, is going to be dangerous if Iran with a nuclear power, right? Right? It's going to be dangerous, and they might likely use it anytime without any, you know, warning or whatsoever, right? So they don't want to give Iran such privilege to do that, and of which, if you look at it from security perspective, it's wise, right? Because Iran cannot be trusted with a nuclear weapon. Nuclear. Iran said that they're not doing it for just to get a nuclear power station to produce something else, not nuclear weapon. But based on Israel's intelligence, um, they are close to producing nuclear weapons, 15 nuclear warheads by in 6 months' time. So Israel will not just take that intelligence for granted. So they're trying to prevent something bigger in the future. That is why they're attacking Iran, right? Yes, and as we all know, lots of Iran top generals they have been assassinated. They've been killed in the war, and Tel, uh, Tel Aviv, Haifa, you know, and some other Israeli cities have been destroyed. They're still being destroyed, and Tehran is also being destroyed, and some other key uh, infrastructure in Iran have been destroyed as well. But Iran are still fighting back seriously, right? So that I'm trying to give us the breakdown because someone in the group was asking me what is the cause of what is the crime of Iran. So because of that, that's why I'm saying all of this, okay? The week ahead, right? So it's just about this whole thing, right? See, investors will focus on developments in Israel-Iran conflict, particularly the potentials of the U.S. military involvement. Now they have been involved. They are involved already. So this thing is late, right? Along with update on global trade negotiations, right? As we all know, Trump gave, I think, some countries, I think 30 days, 90 days to see if they can negotiate this tariff and all of that, right? And the 90 days have elapsed, right? So any moment from now, the tariff might fully come back, might come back in full scale, and this might likely affect the US and some of these countries in which they have these that Islam the tariff that Islam tariffs on, right? Okay, so attention will also turn to Fed Jerome Powell testimony before Congress as market looks for a sign of hawkish tone balanced by a data-dependent approach. On that data front, key US release include PCE, report durable goods order, and good trade balance, right? So flash PMI for major economy, including the US, Eurozone, Japan, all of that, right? So economic activity for the week, right? So on Monday, which is tomorrow, um, uh, S&P Global Manufacturing PMIs, S&P Global Manufacturing Services, right? So we all know what this figure stands for, right? Yeah. Now Tuesday, consumers confidence, power speech. So this was the speech before Senate, right? As we have seen here, right? Likely give the speech. So the speech, and as you all know from Federalist Watch 2, um, okay. They're likely not going to uh cut rate soon. Let's see. From here, we'll see the probability of cut rate in the next rate meeting. If they're likely going to cut rate, either likely going to hike rate. But from what we saw from last meeting, from let's see. Okay, from here we saw that probability of the cutting rate is 18%. That is easy, right? Why no change at all? As in the next rate meeting, they'll likely not cut rates, right? It's 81%. So you can see that in the next rate meeting, which is going to be uh 37 days from now in third quarter, right? Yes. Next after next month or so, right here. So they're not going to cut rate, and like what we saw from the news, right? Based on what the data that came out, right? That the United States economy is experiencing a hawkish tone, right? That means the dollar will likely gain strength, right? For a short term, right? But on the long term, dollar is negative, right? Yeah. So Fed chair testimony, right? Yeah, testified before Congress, right? Where is it again? Yes, before Congress, yeah. So that's gonna be Wednesday. Okay, he's going to give his own analysis on why they're likely going to hold rate and all of that, right? And what would you expect in the next rate meeting and all of that. But investors are pricing in that they will likely not cut rate in the next rate meeting. Then on Thursday, durable goods order, GDP, quarter of quarter, unchargeable claims on Friday called PCE price and all of that, right? But the cross of the matter is in US involvement in all of this, right? So that's why you can see my put on the volatility index, right? That tells us if we are experiencing from now, we're going to experience risk on and risk off market sentiment, right? Especially risk off, right? Right now that the US has involved in this war, right? Yeah, if Iran retaliate, because Iran have already vowed that Israel will experience a everlasting consequence for involving in this war, right? So there are some congressmen in the US calling for they are saying Trump should not continue with the war, that Trump should back out of the war so that they can seek peace and all of that, right? Because this is geopolitics, and in this war, as if Iran retaliates, the price of crude oil, right? Though the price of crude oil has already gone high, right? But the every tendency that crude oil will get higher than it is, right? Right, crude oil will likely go higher than it is, right? Yeah, since for the past 2 weeks, the war has been on for the past This is the second week now. So we're likely going to see price of crude oil skyrocket more than $73 per barrel. We'll likely see something higher than this, and as well, because of this US involved in this, right? The dollar might technically from fundamental perspective, right? We're saying that the dollar might likely experience a little bit a move to the upside before coming down, right? So for me, I'll wait till the dollar gets to this high before I will think of selling the dollar, right? So in the short term, look for the dollar to get to this level before I'll think of selling the the dollar, right? JPY, right? Though the JPY may be giving us a bearish vibe from here, but nevertheless, we are waiting for Iran to retaliate against the United States, right? And if they do, I tell you, risk of sentiment for JPY and CHF will definitely kick off, and also gold as well. In the course of this war, we're seeing that gold will likely get to 3,500. This is where uh, Goldman Sachs said gold might likely get to. So this is the level, 4,500, right? So for me, I'm still waiting for United States Iran to retaliate against United States, right? Yeah, so that is what we're really waiting for. If Iran retaliates against United States, I mean, it has turned to a full-blown war that United States has really get involved, and investors would likely go into full-time risk of market sentiment, right? In this time, Aussie, Kiwi, right? They are not pairs that you should be buying at this time. You should be selling them because investors are so careful not to get not to get their capital not to get their capital wiped out because of this geopolitical crisis that is going on around the Middle East right now. Okay, so we also saw that today Bitcoin crashed from 104,000 to 99, right? We saw this is probably, I see Bitcoin, right, going down, right? Yeah, I can see Bitcoin going down. It might still go down more than this, okay? Yeah. So gold is gonna be bullish. Yeah. So for me, I'll wait for gold to get here. As the dollar gets to this high, right? I'll wait for gold to get here there before I'll likely buy the gold, sell the dollar, right? Yeah, buy the gold, sell the dollar. Then the pair that have USD at the base side will likely look for a sell, right? When they get to that particular level, okay? So this is USD CHF. So I'll wait for price to get to this level, right? This it can get here, it can also get here before coming down, right? Yes. So for me, I'm waiting for this Iran to retaliate, but dollar gave a hawkish tone, right? Yeah, but because of this little strikes in Iran, three nuclear sites, right? Iran might likely retaliate, and some countries in the Middle East, Islamic countries in the Middle East might get involved, like Hezbollah, Yemen, you know, and some other countries that are supporting uh, Iran, right? They might likely get involved, and some other allies from, let me say, China and Russia might likely get involved, like Turkey might also get involved. So let us watch it closely, right? And if that happens, we'll see that there could be a lot of volatility, and a risk of sentiment will likely kick in fully. By that, you see the volatility index we go above 21, 22, right? And if it goes above 22 in the reading, it means we have entered the risk of sentiment, right? Risk of sentiment. So we'll focus more on JPY, CHF, gold, right? And the United States is also that, but just that they're involved in the war. So we might be careful in taking regarding the United States as a safe haven currency right now because of them getting involved in the war, right? Yeah, like someone say United States is not backed with the dollar is not backed on gold, it's backed on bullets, right? That is on war. So US make more profit from war and all of that. So let's see how it go. Let's see the reaction, how this whole thing will likely happen, right? So that is what will likely That's what we're likely waiting for. So I'm really waiting for a lot of these things to happen so know how to take and the next step to take, right? Yeah, so don't be in a hurry in all of this, right? So you can see they also say the bombing Iran nuclear sites complicates hunt for what's left, right? So these are the sites. These sites are so delicate. The one that was bombed recently, one of the side that was bombed is like how many feet away from the ground, right? So underneath the earth. So the bomb that United States launched, the airstrike they launched went down and did the damage, right? Yeah. So you can see how how this whole thing might result. So it might result to something greater than this. But we pray the world de-escalates, right? For peace to reign, right? Right? We pray the world de-escalates. So we're just waiting patiently for all of this, right? So fundamentally, we're expecting the short-term rise in the dollar before coming down, right? Why, based on geopolitics, right? Um, we wait for Iran to retaliate the United States, then we fully enter the risk of market sentiment. So for me, I use dollar to scale most of these markets, right? So for me, this level still holds, right? Yeah. If dollar is going up, if I'm using it to scale the dollar, that means I should also use this level to scale uh GBP, right? So yes, I think I'm seeing a gap. Is this gap? I don't know. Let me go to fulfillment and see that gap. Okay, it's a gap. Market gap. Not at it. Market gap. Hmm. There's a gap in the markets. You can see it for GBP. Let me check. Look at this as well. There's also gap. Let's be careful. There is also gap in this. But for gold, I don't think there's gap on gold. No, there's no gap for gold. Only USD, Euro USD, and GBP. Okay, well, I really crosses my expressive gap right now in the market. So, but JPY is not giving me the vibe that I need, right? JPY is not giving me the vibe that I need to do it in terms of risk of market sentiment, right? I was expecting JPY to, to be strongly bullish this period, but actually I'm not getting the vibe yet, right? I'm expecting JPY to clear off all these levels, right? Strategy try to clear up all these levels going up because of risk of market sentiment, right? Yeah, but let us wait and see. Yeah, and also CHF too. That's what I'm expecting. So for me, I'm going to wait and see the United States will likely. But for the dollar, I'm still waiting for price to get here before think of selling the dollar from there, right? That is what I'm waiting for. Okay, so let's wait and see New York and London session tomorrow, not London and New York session, and we're going to keep our eyes based on geopolitics and see if Iran will retaliate. If Iran retaliates, I tell you, you see the volatility in the market will be crazy. JPY will likely spring up. CHF will do the same, right? So let us wait and see how it goes, okay? So that's it for me today. So this is my weekly analysis, okay? So let us wait and see how the market will likely fare this week, right? So Monday, uh, S&P Global Manufacturing PMI and Service PMI. Tuesday, consumers confidence and CHF of testimonies. The testimony still continues on Thursday, Tuesday and Wednesday, right? Then crude oil inventory, right? So let's focus our attention on crude oil, right? So we expect crude oil to also price of crude oil to also go up as well because of the war, right? Yeah, because of the war, energy is needed to fuel planes and all of that. So the demand for this, and Iran is a major producer of crude oil. So because of this war, right? Crude oil production from Iran has been affected, right? So we're expecting the price of crude oil to go up. Okay. The durable goods order Thursday, Friday, core PCE, and all of that. Okay. So that's it for me this week, right? So let's just see how London session and New York session will be like tomorrow, right? All right, thank you and good night.